Welcome to my February backyard garden tour. It just got done raining, so my garden is looking so bright, cheery, and colorful. I figured this would be a perfect time to come out and show you my garden. And I call this one my cottage garden. Because my garden is small, I have to make all these little areas on a smaller scale. I love the colorful primroses. It's about the only thing right now that's blooming this time of year, but they're just so pretty and they add so much happiness to the garden. That geranium right there is called Martha Washington, and I love the flowers it makes. It doesn't look as messy as the regular generic geraniums, and it does so good in the California hot weather. The tree above my cottage garden is a purple crepe myrtle tree. It's not blooming right now, but when it does bloom, it makes these beautiful purple flowers, and it adds a really nice frame over my cottage garden in the summer when it is blooming. And when the blooms drop, yes, it does get a little messy, but that's what the leaf blower is for. I got those cute little stepping stones at the big box store along with the white rock, and yeah, they are a little hard to keep clean. I definitely have to come out here with my leaf blower now and then, but it's really worth it because I just love the look. A lot of people ask me how I stack my terracotta pots. Well, really, there's no secret. I just put one pot on top of the other. Nothing's holding it down except for the weight of the flour and dirt. Very simple little idea to add some height and interest to your garden. I got these little fences at the big box store as well, not very expensive. And then every couple years when they start to fade, I just respray them with green spray paint. And I made that scalloped edging by just using one of those landscape bricks, and then I sawed it on the scalloped parts, so each little scallop is individual. Just gives it a little old-fashioned cottage feeling, in my opinion. But of course, I don't have enough room in my backyard to have a full-blown cottage garden, so that's why I just made this one on a smaller scale. You know, like when you see those train sets and all the little people and houses and trees are on a smaller scale. Well, that's what I did with these areas in my backyard. Hello, chickens. I'm so excited they started to lay eggs. Oh my goodness, with the egg shortage right now, I am so blessed that my girls started to lay eggs again. Look at all the beautiful eggs my girls laid for me. Aren't they just beautiful? The blue shaded ones are from my Americanas, and the brown ones are from my black astrolorp. Right down there is my narrow space vegetable garden. I'm getting ready to plant some seeds. It's 3 feet 4 inches wide, and I grow a lot of things in those cheap nursery pots. I always say that if you don't have a lot of room in your garden, you could grow vertical. You could grow upwards instead of out. So that's what I'm doing down there. There's not a whole lot to see back here, but I do want to show you one thing that I think is super cool. Did you know that you can grow celery by just sticking the heel of a celery plant in the ground? Well, it's true. This one's already rooted in, so I'm not going to lift it up and show you. Yeah, I just cut off a celery heel, stuck it in that pot, and voila, I got a celery plant. And this little corner, I have a cordyline in those tires with some little violas. And up the vine, I have a beautiful pink jasmine that's gonna bloom in another month or two. I'm getting ready to create another garden area right here, and I cannot wait to tell you what it's about. It's going to involve some scarecrow people, but that will be another video. Speaking of garden areas on a smaller scale, I want to show you my newest garden area, my little fairy garden, using all Dollar Tree items to make this happen. I just got my old wash bucket and I tipped it over and gave it the illusion like pebbles, little rocks were spilling out of it. And there's a pathway that goes back here to an unused area in my garden where I start seeds. I went to a landscape and rock quarry and hand selected some river rocks and made that little edging, used my little Dollar Tree stepping stones. They're very, very small. They're smaller than my big foot, but like I said, this is on a smaller scale. And there's another little stackable pot. And of course, this little area is always going to change because I created this area for my grandkids. So every time they come over to visit Grandma, they can change it up, add things, and just pretty much do whatever they want. And if you notice the painted doors in the background, I paint all my doors myself. I find them at yard sales, on the side of the road, people throwing them away. And it just kind of became a thing of mine. It's hard to explain. I started off with one, and before I knew it, I now have 17 doors. It's kind of like potato chips. You can't just stop at one. Pretty soon, my yellow Carolina jasmine will be blooming. And I made that pretty little horseshoe flower with horseshoes. Over here is my succulent propagation station. 3 park benches. I stacked them up to save space. And this is where I grow cacti and succulent. The lighting over here is perfect for these plants. So that's kind of why I've grouped them all together over here. They get enough light, but not too much. It is winter here in California, Zone 9B. So a lot of my plants are dormant right now. These are some lily turf. Those make pretty purple flowers in the spring and summer. But I think the foliage against the ground makes a nice contrast and adds a little color over here. And this is a little solar water fountain. It's not running right now because the sun's not out to power it. There's not a whole lot to see in this box because what I'm doing right now is enriching the soil with compost. But when it's all blooming, I have a beautiful Gara, which is coming back, a pugster butterfly bush in the center, and then a fig tree. But this is pretty much the bed where I dumped all of my leaves, chicken manure, shavings from the coop, and this was so piled up high, but right now it's all decomposing and adding nutrients to the dirt. So that's why it looks like this in the winter time. But there's a lot of good stuff going on, that's for sure. So don't let looks deceive you, right? You can't judge a bed by its cover. I keep some pansies and miniature roses in my stacked tires. I don't grow vegetables in these anymore because I learned that tires can be toxic, so we shouldn't eat food that grows out of them. But I think it's a great way to recycle the tires instead of, I don't know what they do with old tires. There's a lot of fun stuff going on in this bed. I have this Shasta daisy, which I'm probably going to divide because this thing's getting massive. I'm probably going to dig it up soon, divide it, and put more Shasta daisy rhizomes somewhere else. I have a salvia and more nasturtium right there that's blooming. And look at that rose. There's buds on it. I'm supposed to prune it, but it keeps blooming. So I think my plants in California are a little confused. I'm confused sometimes too, so that's why we all get along. I did not purposely plant any of this nasturtium. What I did is last year when it went to seed, I just scattered the seeds in my garden and it's all coming back. And it's even growing up these arbors. These arbors are just made out of cattle panels. I bought one and then I cut it in half. And my nasturtium is growing up it. I think that's going to be really fun to keep me tied over until summer, until I figure out what I am going to plant permanently on these arbors. Maybe an Eden climbing rose or another bougainvillea. My bougainvillea isn't flowering too much right now. I think it's saying, okay, we're in winter, I'm kind of tired. And that's okay. That's okay. That bougainvillea probably needs to rest. I recently made a couple Dollar Tree videos And I just love my little sunflower welcome sign that I bought at the Dollar Tree. It goes perfectly on that vintage lawnmower. An old gas can. Just a lot of fun stuff. If you can remember those little stepping stools when you were a child. If you do, then you're showing your age like me. Not these young kids know what that is, right? But I so appreciate older things. I'm 62. I'm not ashamed to admit it, and it's okay. I'm very proud of my age. Inside this antique bathtub, I have some ornamental kale. It's so pretty this time of year. And look at my friends, all my tulips are popping up. Can you believe that? All of my tulips are coming up. That was quick. All of my paperwhites, most of them anyway, have already bloomed, and I just made a video. I collaborated with another garden YouTuber, and we made a bouquet and gave it away as an act of kindness to a lady who just got out of the hospital. So I know those paperwhites went to a good home, but I think there still might be a few more that are gonna pop up, so I'm gonna wait and see. I bought this cute little strawberry pot at a garage sale, and I did put some tulips right in there, and they're blooming. But look it, I have strawberries. I think I'm gonna wait for my granddaughter to pick these when she comes over today. So the pots right now are very bare. It's because in each of those containers I have daffodils and tulips. I kind of forget. I have such a bad memory. I guess when they come up I'll remember what I planted. I think they're tulips. Who knows? Oh, you got to have a sense of humor in life sometimes, right? If you can't laugh at yourself, then you just got to be able to laugh at yourself, especially as you get older like I do.